welcome to You've Got a Thing, an interview thing about Milwaukee theater things. My name is Jaimelyn Gray, and I am here with you this week of Thursday, May 7th, of which that day is contained, to talk to you about Milwaukee theater things. I have a great interview for you today with the great and amazing Laura Gordon, who is featured in Next Act's Dinner with the Duchess, U.S. premiere that's happening right now. We sort of caught them in the middle of their run, which is when we could organize all the things to happen, all the moving pieces, all the moving parts for you to talk to people for you. And so we'll get to that in a minute. But first, let's talk about some other things that are happening in and around the Theater Alliance community. If we could, I would love to make that happen right now. So the first thing that I've got for you is something I am wholly familiar with, as it is the company that I founded and started, the Constructivists. We are at the closing weekend of our run of Bug by Tracy Letts, directed by Maya Danks, and had a talk with Maya a few weeks back. If you want to check out that interview, that's in our social media and YouTube and Facebook feeds and things and streams and wonderful dreams and things. So you can go and find out just a little bit more information about that if you are unfamiliar. You can go to theconstructivists.org also to find out more information about it. And we've got links to reviews and media and all sorts of kinds of things. So there's that. This is a great psychological thriller. It's a classic. It's, I think, one of the best theatrical stories told within the past 40 years. I'm really in love with this tale, and I'm really glad that we got the opportunity to produce it and make it happen here in Milwaukee. And audiences are responding overwhelmingly in the positive about their experience in and around this show. So that's great. But it centers around the character of Agnes, who I play, and how she lives out of a motel room in Oklahoma, and you find out the reasons why that's happening, why she's isolated herself and things of that nature over the course of the play. But she meets, through one of her best friends, RC, this guy who's a Gulf War veteran named Peter, and they click, and it creates a perfect storm of factors to bring in some paranoia and just, again, some really great storytelling. Tracy Letts really hit it out of the ballpark with this one. So I hope you can come and see us. And so, yeah, go to theconstructivist.org to find out more information. We only have 3 shows left. So make it happen, folks. That is your job. Make it happen. So there you go on that. And then next we have A Raisin in the Sun. It is opening this weekend by Lorraine Hansberry. Had a great conversation with a couple of artists last week about this. It was a funny situation, back-to-back interviews, because we had some logistical mishaps happening, and but it is a great team of artists on this one, and I hope you can make that happen. It's such a classic story. It's so epic, and I can't wait to see it. Though for personal reasons, I think I have to go and see the understudy run. I don't think I can squeeze. This is an epic tale. I think it's like 2 hours and 40 minutes. It's really a great, wonderful story. Featured of a family on the south side, the Younger family who lives on the south side of Chicago, and they're, they receive some money and dealing with big dreams and hopes and just wonderful theatrical work of the American theater canon. So you can go to MilwaukeeChamberTheater.org. That's a TRE. to check out more information about that and get your tickets. They're doing that in the Cabot, so and so it's a big play, and you can check that out over there. So do that, make it happen. Then next we have our friends over at the Interchange Theater Co-op. They've got so much. Look at all this stuff. If you're watching this online, it's improv and student showcase and open mic, and so they've got all of this coming up this weekend. There's a ton of stuff that you can choose from. Again, plan your calendar accordingly. You might want to save a Raisin in the Sun for another weekend. Come and see Bug, and then go and see some improv. Is my recommendation to you. A selfish recommendation, it may be, but oh well. And so we've got on tonight on the 7th, we've got the High Ground, which is a team of improvisers. Only one can survive the end of the night. Only one can hold the high ground. Okay. And then on the 8th, they have A Dozen Legs featuring Sprocket, improvised musical production. Fantastic. Love it. Musical theater showcase. Have at it. That sounds great. And then Sprocket Life can take you to weird, interesting, and even beautiful places. But it's comforting to know you can always return home. Hop on your improv bikes and see where Sprocket takes you. That sounds interesting. And then May 9th on Saturday, they have their Purgatorium, which is something that they have on the regular, and A Dozen Legs is back then. So A Dozen Legs is coming up a couple times this week, so you can check that out. You can go for that team. You can go to interchangetheater.com. They're on 10th Street. Real great space. Love that space. To check that out. And then also on Monday, they have their levels 1 and 2 student showcase. It's free. So you can just go and check that out. And then on Sundays, they have their open jam, open mic every Sunday at 6 p.m. And so you can make your own dreams come true and throw your own talents out there and try out your improv, or I think that, singing songs, or, do whatever. It's an open jam. It's an open mic. Do it. Make it happen. There you go. And then last but certainly not least, I want to give a boost to the Brick House, great little venue run by my friend Amanda Hull and her husband Cole Heinrich. They have a great space there on the north side, arts and event rental space available for theater rehearsals, auditions, workshops, stage readings, gallery showings, meeting showers, and intimate events. It's a great little intimate space with a bar that you can use for your events, and it's just run by some fantastic people. So go to the brickhousemke.com to find out more information about that, if you will. Huzzah. So that's what I got for this week in the Theater Alliance sphere. So check that out. And but let's segue into an interview with Laura Gordon, who I have long admired as an artist. I think her career is just a real exemplary one for what a lot of us would like to achieve, particularly women in the theater universe, to be able to make acting and directing happen and live a theatrical life as Laura Gordon has. And so we touch a little bit on that, and talk a lot about the Dinner with the Duchess. And so why don't we just check into that interview? Hey, and here we are today. With me is the magnificent, amazing, awesome, superb, wonderful director, actor, theater artist, amazing human Laura Gordon.
Hello. I have nothing to add.
Good, great. Thank you for this interview. Thank you. We're good. All right. Thank you so much for squeezing me into your schedule. I'm so excited to talk to you today about this Dinner with the Duchess, a U.S. premiere, by the way, is what I'm told. And so I just want to. Can we just start a little bit about? Can you just talk a little bit about yourself? And just a quick overview of your very brief artistic journey.
Sure.
As a human, and just start there.
Yeah, I've been really lucky to have a career in the theater, right? And I started as an actor, and then started directing about 20 years ago. And at the time, I didn't realize how essential it was going to be to have another skill, because this industry is not always kind to women as they age as actors. And so to be able to be a director and an actor both has been great. I was really lucky to be in the resident acting company at the Milwaukee Rep for a long time in the olden days, and then to be able to have a freelance life as both an actor and a director while still living in Milwaukee. I mean, I travel a lot, but this is still home.
Yeah. And so part of this amazing theatrical journey is that you have worked with Next Act quite a bit over time. Do you want to just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I was in the very first Next Act productions.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Because I had worked for both the theaters that merged to form Next Act. And those very first productions were Reckless by Craig Lucas and then adaptation of A Wrinkle in Time. And so I did quite a few jobs as an actor in the early years of Next Act before I started working at the Rep, and then have been able to come back over the years as a director. But I haven't worked there as an actor since the first Obama inauguration. So I know, because I remember we stopped rehearsal to watch it.
You've been busy, though.
Yeah, I've been a little busy. Yeah. So, but it's an amazing company to come back to. I love the roots of it. I love what David Cesarini built, and I love what Cody Estelle is doing with the company now. So it's a really healthy, awesome place to go to work. I love it.
That's awesome. I am really thrilled at the trend, how it seems like from an outsider's perspective, how seamlessly that transition occurred from the outside.
I agree with you 100%. I think it's super smart.
And I really love the season packages that Cody has been putting together, and just what seems to me the thoughtfulness and the breadth of the theatrical experience that he's been putting out there. I really enjoy it myself as a patron and a theater lover. So
it's awesome. Yeah.
So, but this is Next Act's closing production of the 25-26 season. So can you just talk to me a little bit about what the show is about?
Sure.
And who you are in it.
Yeah, so this play was written by a Canadian playwright named Nick Green. And the way that this script came about happening at Next Act is, I think, a kind of a cool story. So our director is Samantha Martinson. And Samantha is an awesome theater artist, and she assisted me. She was my assistant director on a production of Ring Round the Moon that I directed at APT a couple of years ago. And she's just a super impressive young woman. So she had directed a reading of the play Casey and Diana at APT, written by Nick Green. And so she had been in touch with the playwright. He had given her this script. She read it really early on. He was like, I'm not sure about the ending. She gave her thoughts about the ending. He did some rewrites. So it had a production in Toronto, but honestly, like, Samantha did a lot of very cool dramaturgical work with Nick. Anyway, so she gets this script. She thinks it's a good role for me. I like it. I give it to Cody. He and Libby like it. They want to do it. They want me to do it. They say, "Who do you want to direct it?" I said, "I want Samantha to direct it."
Yay!
Yay, us. And so it came about. It's a play that all takes place in the course of 75 minutes of real time on stage.
Love it.
I know, it's so good. And it is a dinner party of sorts. It is, my character Margaret is a concert violinist and is retiring, and a young journalist comes over to interview her, and the interview takes some interesting turns. And then the third character in the play is my character's husband, played by Andrew May, who is a long old time colleague, friend of mine. So that's awesome.
Fantastic. So no spoilers here. We want people to ride the ride as best they can. But the journalist character, does she come with some, I don't want to say agenda, but is there a little little meat on the meeting?
Yeah, there is. I think my character is expecting this to be, oh, this is the profile of my career. This is my legacy. This is what this article is going to be about. And she has some questions. She has some other stuff that she has heard, right? And so it kind of deals with, celebrity, what's public, what's private. Can't our art just stand for itself rather than personality? So I don't know. I was struck, I think about a year ago, by interviews that were happening around with Patti LuPone, who, was saying a few things that kind of got her in trouble, and to have to kind of come back to the public and justify who you are as a human when you have like this body of work that should be able to speak for you. So I was sort of struck by like, oh, it's sort of like an interview with Patti LuPone that goes wrong.
Nice. Yeah. So you all have been running this production for a couple weeks already. Right where we're standing right now, you've got 2 weekends left, or 2 weeks left of this process. What is the feedback that you've, because the feedback that I've been seeing online is just like mind-blowing performances and a great story and things like that. What have you personally experienced with I don't know, just how people have responded?
Yeah, I think the response has been really positive. Part of it, I think, is that people don't know what to expect, and so they come in and it's more complicated or more thought-provoking. I've been getting, like, from friends and colleagues that I know, that keep texting the next day or a couple of days later going, "I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about it." Or, "Can you send me the links to the music that was," like, it's still on people's minds. So I think it's quite provocative. I think that as an audience member, you change alliances through like, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, and that those things keep shifting. So that makes it interesting. Yeah, the feedback has been pretty great.
How is it, as an actor on this project, how do you feel like artistically that it's been like filling your soul, and how we talked a little bit about catharsis of things, like can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I can. I think it's no secret to a lot of people that I lost my husband a year ago. And so I'm sort of in this odd, vulnerable, emotional place. And some of the topics, some of the conversation that happens in the play are definitely conversations that I've had in my life. And they are conversations that I had with my husband. And so it feels really ripe. I don't want to say it's therapy, but it is like this sidebar. Like, the reason I became an actor is because I was a really shy kid, and it was easier for me to have someone else's words to say. And Nick Green has given Margaret a symphony of words to say. I have heard that some of the writing feels like it's a a piece of music, you know.
Fantastic.
So that is a real joy to be able to kind of launch into some of that. I am such a text nerd too, so it's like to have language that rich, and to be able to speak it every day has been very fulfilling. So it is, even though it's a large journey over the course of only 75 minutes, but
75 minutes, large journey
feels,
in 75 minutes. Yikes.
I mean, I think that audiences feel satisfied by it. It's not like, oh my God, that was, I paid for 75 minutes, you know, but I think everybody's like, that's enough. That's good. So it's a great journey. And I do feel a sense of some kind of catharsis, some kind of completion. You know, audiences often ask us, right? Aren't you exhausted at the end of that play, especially if it's an emotional one? What do you do to come out of it? It's like, no, I just got out of it. You know, I just lived my way out of it. I'm fine. You have a lot to talk about, but you know, I think it's the rehearsal process where it's harder, right? Because you're grappling with it kind of constantly in rehearsal, and it's on your mind when you come home. But there's something about putting it out there and releasing it all into the room with folks that feels good. I do feel good about it. And the other thing that has happened just personally, related to my husband's passing, is that am I allowed to swear on this podcast?
Do it.
Okay.
I do it all the time.
Okay. I just don't have any more fucks left to give about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so stuff that used to really bother me and get in my head as an actor, like, oh, I wasn't perfect. Oh, I missed that moment. Oh, I screwed up that word. Like, I just don't care anymore.
Right.
And so there has been kind of a new freedom that comes, like, so it's like this part of my brain that used to be occupied by that voice, you know, that she's gone. And so therefore I'm just more forgiving of myself. I guess that's the end of it, is that I just, I'm cutting myself a little bit more slack.
That's amazing. I want to get there because I'm still there.
I know it's hard.
Grace. It's so challenging to let that go, and I think largely some of that exists in because you're working in an ensemble and you feel like maybe you let your other people down, or that's at least what I feel is like, man, I screwed up that line, and so now, and that affected your brain process and things like that. So I get tied up in that stuff still.
Sure.
Yeah. What are your big thoughts on why people should see this show?
Well, I think, as I said, it's quite provocative. It'll give you a lot to talk about. It's also really funny. I should throw that in. So the people are like, oh my God, 75 minutes of horror. It's not. It's very witty. It's very smart. The way this playwright uses music as a metaphor for other things is just sort of exquisite.
Is he a musician himself?
I don't even know the answer to that, but I mean, it kind of seems like he must be.
Seems like it.
I have had people say, I can't believe a man wrote that role for a woman, but that's interesting too. So, I mean, I think it is about these bigger issues, right? Like, it is about how tough the world of classical music is for women. It's a very male-dominated industry. So you can extrapolate out of that. You can just talk about, you know, women of a certain age in society and dealing with glass ceilings and all of that. So there's a big scope of that story, but there's also the feeling of like, what does legacy mean? What is my responsibility to the artists coming up after me? What will I be remembered for? And so those are big too. But then at the end of the day, it's a story about one woman, right? It's not about all society. So it's about a woman who makes this career and makes certain decisions along the way, and some of them aren't good. So it talks a lot about marriage. It talks a lot about compromises. It talks about, you know, what you have given up in order to pursue this passion. And you have to give things up to achieve a certain level. And whether that was things to do with the marriage, things to do with having children, things to do with everything.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool in that respect, and really focuses in on that question. This is the one that I've asked myself for years. It's like, is what we do worth it? Does it matter? At the end of the day, does this life devoted to a particular art form mean anything? And so those are all questions, right? And there's different answers to them, and you reach them at different points of your life. And can the art speak for you? I don't know. I think it's just so interesting, and it is definitely art imitating my life in a really strong way. So I don't know. Uh I'm really proud of it. It's really hard. And the rehearsal room, we always talk about, oh, it's a good room. The rehearsal room was extraordinary. The director, we had a young assistant director too that came out of that Wisconsin directors lab. So like there were
Oh,
three
yay.
generations of women directors in the room, which was really cool.
Yay.
And as I mentioned, working with my friend Andrew May after so long has just been like coming home. And then the other actress, Mai Abe, is lovely and extraordinary, and she's joins us from the West Coast.
That's fantastic. I'm very excited to see this. I'm gonna sneak in there next week is my goal. And so I can't wait because I do like challenging with funny.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fun. So I'm very excited about that. So but when people go to get their tickets, they should go to nextact.org to make that happen and catch a little 75-minute fireball is what they should do
Right.
to make happen over at Next Act. Yeah. Laura Gordon, thank you so much
Thank you. This was
for
delightful.
having the time in your life to come and talk to this little podcast. And I hope you have just a magnificent end to your run. And
Thank
I
you.
hope
Thank
all
you
the
so
people
much.
come and see all the fantastic work happening over there.
Cool.
Thanks. What an amazing artist. Laura Gordon is just so such a good spirit and a good soul, and I love talking to her in the very limited capacity that I get to because she's just such a busy artist person, and so I always love touching base with her about what's going on in her theatrical life. So there you go. Check out the Dinner with the Duchess and all the amazing artists over there. So yeah, so that's what I've got for this week. Next week we've got coming up, I have on the calendar Renaissance Theater Works. Their Brink Festival is coming up next weekend. That is. So we're going to squeeze. I'm probably going to talk to Maria Pretzel about that. The all knowing, all wise marketing director over there at Renaissance Theater Works, Maria Pretzel. Always love talking with her about stuff over there. So come back next week for that. And then I just have one episode left, and it should be Susan from Optimist. We always sort of close out with Optimist because that's the summer calendar. And as I've said before, I largely take summers off from theatrical work. It's it's a lot to run a small company in Milwaukee, and so I like to shift to family time in the summers. So I let this program take a breather, but we always got to get the summer Shakespeare talk in there at the end of the season here, and so that'll come up in a couple weeks, and that's what we got. So if you have any needs or questions or whatchamahoots, whatever that is, go to or you can email info at mketa Milwaukee Theatre Alliance makita.org, and shoot off your questions, and I will try to either answer it myself or get other people to answer your needs or concerns, and we will do it that way. So there you go with that. Thank you again for joining me on this brief little interview journey. Appreciate you stopping by, and be well out there. Just a lot of moving parts. Stay sane. Go see some theater. Get some catharsis. Make it happen. Plan your calendar accordingly. And then we will see you next week on You've Got a Thing. 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 Something like that. Okay, bye.